Good morning. So today we are digging on the same field as on a Wednesday. We have found already human remains here and one Soviet medal. So at least one soldier will have his name back. Before, in this place we found a lot of soldiers, tank parts, and here you can see a bomb crater which is filled with human remains, war rubbish, helmets, and I will show you a medal in a moment. Kur ir medaļa palikusi? Tālim? Yeah, Talis has a medal, and when he will clean it up a little bit, I will show it. Right here you can see a skull and the two Soviet helmets. So this is a mass grave. Everything is mixed up, damaged by artillery, and all this field you can see here is a battlefield. Where the guys are standing, there are two craters which have human remains in them as well. Today we are using ground radar, and hopefully we'll find more interesting finds and get back names for as many soldiers as possible. And as usually, if you have any questions, just ask us and we will answer them live. Here battle was, if I remember correctly, in the end of 1945. Kurland, very famous battlefield. Here on a field, using metal detectors, it is possible to find bomb craters, which can be filled with human remains. It's possible to find helmets, which soldiers are still wearing, other equipment, tank parts. In many places we have found aluminium parts from engine, so it means that a tank was blown up on this field. On Wednesday, in a bomb crater, we found several pieces of tank armor, rather thick, about 6-7 centimeters, so rather heavy tank, which was blown to pieces, possibly using ordnance from a field which was collected and then put into tank and blown up, so the tank can be collected for scrap metal. And here is a crater from Wednesday when a helmet was found. And most likely a soldier is here as well. And not most likely, but he is there. He is damaged by plow and agriculture, but hopefully he has some identification on him. The human remains which are found are collected, documented, and then they are most likely reburied on some of the war cemeteries in Latvia. If relatives are found and they want their loved one to be back home, then we do our best to make it possible. Yeah. So for the ones who have just connected, we are in Kurland, Latvia. Battle here was in the March of 1945. One of the last big battles on the Eastern Front. Here Soviets used heavy tanks, Joseph Stalin, with a 122mm main gun. Yeah, on Duxi said that on our YouTube you can go and take a look at previous finds from this field. They have found rear armor plate from the tank. Human remains are in really bad condition because of artillery, agriculture, and especially mineral fertilizers which destroy bones. They become soft and spongy. And I will get to Talis and take a look at the award which was found about 5 minutes ago. It was found right before I started the live stream. Tāli? Medaļa parādīs?
Nē.
Nerādīšu nekādu medaļu.
Parāda medaļu. So you see the Soviet award. It is numbered. It has a number on the other side, which I will not show because of privacy, but still has remains of ribbon. And as it is a silver Soviet award, then we will get the name of a soldier and he will be identified. Possibly his family is still alive and still waiting for him. So we made our day in the first part of the day. Hopefully we will identify more soldiers. Today we have a rather big group, so we'll have good finds. Likvidēja, ja? And if I remember correctly, the medal is called Medal for Valor, and it is awarded for some individual heroic act. We don't know yet for what exactly it was awarded, but when we check it through the archives, we will know exactly for what it is awarded, the name of a soldier, his rank, and the rest of the information. Michael, with coronavirus here, situation is really good. It is, I think we have the least, how to say, the least amount of virus per 100 people in Europe. So it's much better than in the rest of the world. Almost no restrictions here. You see a lot of war rubbish mixed in with human remains. A lot of steel parts. There was aluminium part, most likely from engine of a tank. Another skull right there. So 3 skulls in that area where that guy is digging. There is checked ground for some smaller finds and smaller remains. Guys, if you want to support us, we have I have posted the supporters link right in the description of this video, and there you can donate us something. And another way to support us is through merchandise. It is in the first pinned post on our Facebook page. Yes, Iron Digger is a huge help for us. It's really good that one of our guys is professional operator. He does it for a living, but that's why we use it only only on weekends because the rest of the time he has to feed his family. And here is some war rubbish which was dug out from this crater. Right here we have a shovel. It seems to be a German entrenching tool. Here are mortar tail fins, 8 centimeter and 12 centimeter. Some, I suppose, piece of a tank. This is a Soviet DT tank machine gun magazine. And some unrecognizable rubbish. And among the rubbish we found one German helmet as well. So yeah, pile of war rubbish. Some more things, possibly some smaller armor plate from a tank, and it's all mixed in together with human remains. Something is found right here.
Apsties, kaut kas tāds, nezinu, antena.
Nav kaut kāda vara trubiņa no dzinēja?
Nē, viņi jau ir, man liekas, krāsot un chromēt.
Krāsot un chromēt, jā.
Nu, tas ir trūbīgi, tad nekutēji. Te kaut kas ievalks.
Some part from something.
Man nāk atmiņā šitā te ir dziesmiņa. Где это видано, где это слыхано. Голосу. Tur arī, это там ноги уходят или что? Kas tur ir? Tālu te, ka tu stāvi, tev jāro koļā.
Yes, about unexploded ordnance, we find it all the time, especially when we dig on battlefields, and it's not something we worry about, but it's something we respect. So you always have to respect live ordnance. This is some rubbish, piece of brass, most likely exploded ordnance. And yes, with ordnance you need to respect it. Don't do dumb things and then call police, and then they call Latvian Army EOD, which then blow up the ordnance. Hello, John. Nice to see you here. Gunča, tev sveicieni no Jāņa.
Paldies! Kas ir Jānis? Nav svarīgi.
Viņš teica sveicienu onkulim.
Jā. Ko es gribu pievienot?
No, to jau pie tāļa. see the remains are in different layers, heavily damaged. Possibly a wheel of a tank or something like that. Here you can see 2 helmets, 3 skulls. We'll get to the field, take a look what others have found. Someone took his best friend together. So yeah, you can see that is exploded ordnance, either Soviet ZIS-3 AT gun or Soviet tank 76mm. So guys are walking the field, trying to look for more craters, more burials. There guys are walking with the ground radar. Nick, at the moment we have found only the ones who we have positively identified as Soviet soldiers, but in such places it could be anything. Here could be German soldiers at any moment as well. So here is crater, slowly opened up, and there is helmet right in the middle. And the helmet was the thing which let us find this soldier. And you see, it's not deep, it's really shallow, just below the plow line. And yes, in this crater would be one soldier at least. Hopefully we will get back his name. Here is another crater opened up from the last time. Here would be soldier as well. The guys with a ground radar.
Yeah, I can give you an idea of what I scanned just now.
Yeah.
So, wait, let us turn around. So, you see one truck here on the left side and the other truck is here on the right side.
Yeah.
On the upper part is the, soil a little bit.
Yeah.
So here you see the scan I have made. And you see the bomb crater. One here, one there, a little bit up here, disturbance and there. We checked it with metal detector and there were only metal parts inside. So you see it, you see?
Oh, yeah, see. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So basically I will do the scan now here also, that we get pictures and a view of how it looks underground.
Good,
yeah?
Good.
Okay.
So, reading comments at the moment. So here is a question from Nigel. It would be hard to collect all of a soldier remains because of explosions, would dislodge limbs, etc. Is there any odor at all, or it is all dispersed after so long? So about the limbs, yeah, some of the limbs are lost. It happens because here flied around things like these. It seems to be Soviet 120mm AP, 122. Not sure on this, but it seems to be something big and bad. You can see the size. And about the odor, generally there is no odor, but when you clean, for example, dog tags and something which has which is porous, like dog tags, corrosion, things like that, when you clean the dog tag to identify the soldier, you will have that dead body smell. It's nasty, a little bit sweet smell, which you cannot get rid of, and you cannot forget. Once you know the smell, you will always remember it. Ciao, Tali. Yeah, so that's mainly it. John, we are in Kurland right now. We will not tell the more exact place because of black diggers. Landowner asked us not to pinpoint exact place. Yes, about the ground raider, we have Terrovido ground raider and the help from one German company who does security things. So the more people know about us, the more help we get, which is really good. So even your likes and shares are helping us. About the dogs, I'm not really sure that they would help. One thing, they are really expensive. Another thing is ground raider still does the job. Metal detectors do the job, and I don't know. Maybe some canine expert, if someone is watching us, can tell if the dogs will help. I'm not that sure on the use of dogs. So at this hole, I would say already at least 5 soldiers, counting by the skulls, but they are all mixed together, so it will be hard recovering them. And here is the 6th, so 6 at least, and seemed that his skull was smashed by a tank wheel, or possibly Joseph Stalin heavy tank wheel. It fell from the air and crushed his skull. Yes, Kevin, we detect whole field here, and we have detected tree line, but tree line is much more cleaned up, because in tree line you can work whole year, but on a field you can work only when there are no grains. So it's rather short period of time, about 1 week per year. So we use most of it as much as possible over that time. Surface is constantly checked. You see Einars using his metal detector, and in another hand he has shovel and a probe. And probe is a really useful thing when you need to find soldiers. some smaller piece of armor goes into rubbish pile. And this is interesting stuff. This is Soviet 76mm armor piercing composite rigid, which is it has in the middle tungsten core, which is surrounded by a softer steel. This is hollow part. It smashes when hits the armor, and then it lets the core to get into the armor. So as the core is smaller diameter and much harder than usual round, it has the same energy, but it can penetrate much thicker armor. Tāli, ko tu tur spēlējies? Kas tev tas ir? Tālis is especially funny today. And yeah, more about this round. It is not fired because you see here is driving band made of brass or some copper alloy, and it has no rifling marks, so it was not fired. Possibly the tank which carried it was blown up on this field as well. Because we find a lot of exploded unfired ordnance and tank parts. So possibly one of these tanks was destroyed here as well. Evo, šitas bija dīķis, jā? Yeah. So and on this field we are searching for a pond. Here in these bushes there is a farm which was destroyed during the battle. And next to the farm by the family legend is a pond somewhere, and pond was filled in with dead bodies and then covered with ground. So possibly this is the pond or some bigger crater. More or less everything from the field, including war rubbish and dead bodies, is collected and then covered by ground, possibly done by farmers when fighting sides didn't care about their dead, and farmers just needed to plow their field, same as now. And we clean out the field and then they can put their crops. And most likely we won't be able to clean it up this season, and we'll come back next time. Here, the soldiers which we find at the moment, there is nothing which would indicate that they are tank crew, but there are things which indicate that they are infantry, for example helmets. Soviet tank crew had no steel helmets. And from my experience of tank crew which we have found, for example, if tank is blown up, then the tank crew is pulverized, but sometimes they are burned. And I was digging a German tankman in a cemetery, and it was just a layer of black soot and ash, because temperature in a tank when it's burning is really high, and it's more or less same as cremation. And so from tank crews, not much is left after they die, if they died in a tank.
Kur jau pīksēs no vienas vietas?
O! Kur jūs šito atradāt?
Tur tikko arī izcēl.
Tur bedrē, jā?
Jā.
Some kind of scissors or something similar came out of this hole.
Evo tos, nevajag raut ārā tos dzelus, kaut kā cenšties tā, un tos gumijas ar kaut kā atstāt. Labi. Vai kaut kā.
So for the guys who have just connected, we are in Kurland, Latvia. We are digging battlefield where was tank battle. We see here parts of Joseph Stalin tank. There is possibly a wheel right in the middle of the screen which hit the skull of one of the soldiers in the hole and crushed his skull. Previously we have found rare armor plate from a Joseph Stalin tank, and on this field almost every crater which we open up is filled with human remains. This was hell on earth back in the day, in March of 1945. In this hole here are at least 6 soldiers at the moment. You can see right there in the middle 2 Soviet helmets and 3 skulls. So rather awful place. Andrew, you have a good question about the confirmation of identity of the soldier. For Soviet soldiers, we can identify about 1% of them. When we find a word or some signed item, then we can identify Soviet soldier. Here we already have found one award, so one of the guys will be identified, and if that was a marked makeshift grave, then possibly others will be identified as well. And for German soldiers, we identify around 70%. And guys right there have just found some religious item, and it is given. Talis gave them a plastic bag to put it separately. It is some Russian Orthodox icon or something like that, some small medallion. Duxi put it in a plastic bag, sealed it, and gives back to the guys. Right there, the guy who was hit by a tank wheel, he had that thing with him. Bones are really soft and fragile because of fertilizers used on the field. They are not really good for human remains to preserve. No, field is completely flat, but when we take off ground you can see the difference in color. That light colored soil is the one which is undisturbed, and you see the crater, it's all black. So this is the disturbed soil mixed in with the top layer. It becomes a different color, it's darker. So in this way we can tell where is the crater. And you see Talis shows the border till which tractor can operate safely. We have journalists from local newspaper here with us, so there will be a small article in the newspaper.
Paņem vienu maisu! Pietiek, vairāk nevajag!
Ūdens nav nevienam?
Nav!
Jā, ūdens, jā! Ūdens ir!
Paņem, Viktor, tik maļīgī kotis. Es eju. Zasūņ mišoček, izpostav mišoček, to tom te vienīgi.
You see the wheel, and someone who is better at tanks possibly can confirm from which tank it is. Either it is the front wheel from T-34 or one of the lower wheels from Joseph Stalin tank. I'm not sure on that, and I would appreciate if you guys can tell what it is, because they are really similar, and just from the size I cannot tell. Talis is not angry, he's just a boss. He needs everyone to hear what he says. But this wheel for sure, it's a Soviet tank wheel. So, as we thought previously, here some Soviet tank is blown up. I would rather say that it's T-34, but not sure. Need your help, guys.
Es noņemu šito papu. Šito te vietu, reku. Jā. Ne ir akumulātors apasā kaut kāds stāvs. Jā, es noņemu.
Talis says there is an accumulator from a tank right there where he shows.
Palesās nost jau. Discovery rāda tagad no tās puses. Discovery kanāls ir tur. Erik, tur. Discovery pozīcija. Šeit National Geographic, no ekstremāli.
Yes, Matt, you are right. Huge amount of guys are playing tank games, but no one can tell which wheel it is. I say either front wheel from T-34 or one of the lower wheels from Joseph Stalin. Tā ir vācu siksniņa. Tā ir vācu siksniņa. Yeah. Some German equipment. German equipment strapped buckle, aluminium. So Derek, we are right now in Kurland, and we are standing in some crater or pond. There is a farm which is destroyed during battle in March 1945. Some tank part rubbish. And here all this field is full of craters, and these craters are filled with dead soldiers. And we are trying to find as much as possible. In this crater at least six people already, and one medal is found, so at least one of them is identified. If you guys want to support us, you can follow the support link in the description of this video, or you can buy some of our merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies and mugs, which you can find in the pinned post on our Facebook page. That will really help us, because we need to feed this beast. It eats a lot of diesel. And on Wednesday I spoke about it, but you saw on Saturday, for example, the amount of soldiers buried, a lot of black coffins. And one such black coffin costs, cik bija? 5 eiro kaut kur zārciņš.
7!
7, ja?
20!
Nē, no, ja nopietni.
Es tev teicu 20!
Talis is angry at me, but one coffin was around 5 euros. So imagine.
5!
Cik?
Aizmirsti, 20! Ko?
Nu tas ir ar darbu kopā.
Nē, plikais.
Plikais. Tās, kas tur mūld pa naudu, naher izslēgt.
Nē, es muldu pa naudu, tad man jāizslēg. Talis says he don't want money talks today.
Stop.
So good. Positive identification that it's front wheel from T-34. So that means something from a tank, most likely. No T-26 is here for sure, because it's light war battlefield. And at least 2 tanks damaged on this field, T-34 and Joseph Stalin.
Te ir afigēties.
Padod vienu tavu kastīti, Anži. Apsties, kas tas tāds ir. Vajad, pasaka, kas tas tāds ir.
Parts of accumulator. Mērinstrumenti kaut kādi.
Jā, kaut kāds pulkstens bijis.
Something from a dashboard, possibly of a tank, and accumulator parts. All kind of war rubbish was in this field.
Šitais ir dekoratīvais elements, to.
Yeah, another one. Armor-piercing composite rigid round from 76mm gun. So possibly this was T-34-76. And it goes in a rubbish pile. It's not dangerous, it has no explosives in it. It's just a piece of steel with a tungsten core in the middle. I made the screen so dark that I don't see anything myself at the moment. The helmet here, so heavily corroded German helmet, model 40 or model 35, but as it has aluminium liner, then most likely model 35. I cannot see the vent holes, that's why I cannot tell exactly which model.
Aiziet, noja vaļā! Iekšā! Ņemam vaļā! Šitai ir jābūt! Jā! Vai labi! Jā, jā, jā! Vai meklē, meklē! Cītīgāk! Jā!
The things which are found with the soldiers, they stay with the soldiers. All of the dangerous stuff. Nemet šito. Tas ir sprākstošs, viņam dirsas sprākst.
Viņš jau zemē nogulēs, viņš
No, nekas.
vairs nesprāks.
And this is armor piercing high explosive, 76 millimeters. So yeah, explosive ordnance gets destroyed by Latvian Army EOD at the end, and stuff which is with soldiers stays with soldiers.
Että naanakaan näyttää laasti! Että näyttää tauos! Jäljestä se Pagaidi, stop! Āģi tiek!
Ew, nu nemet šito stāli. Cik reiz tev teikt? This is 76 millimeter high explosive.
Vai sitten ne naana, oot ehkä 4, me se on tämmöstä se on ratkaisut
So most likely T-34 76, judging from the ammo found. And pieliec šito te arī. Tas bruņķis, viņam dirsas sprākst arī. Judging by the ammo and parts, yes, most likely T-34 76. Oh, Scott, thank you very much, and that is big help. Thank you. It's really nice to see that people watching us have good knowledge on the subject as well. Torsten, sorry, I don't speak German, but we are searching as usually for missing soldiers on the field. Maybe someone can translate it for him. Then it's most likely stuff from scrap pile will be buried back in a crater. That depends on what farmer will tell. Talis says there is whole accumulator from a tank. Yeah, Talis, as I understood, he asks the digger to clear the ground there so they can make a table, the so-called, I think it's called archeological table. We are not exactly doing everything in archeological method, but we use some of the things they use because we have a little bit different goals from what they do.
Vēl uz leju.
The job with which Talis does right now, we call it a conductor, like a conductor of orchestra. Talis shows the digger what to do, and digger follows exactly required things. In that way, from the height of a digger, it's not always possible to see some nuances in the ground, but the guy with a shovel in the bottom of a trench sees much better. So with a crater or pond, either it is a pond, either there is some possibility that it is a tank position, tank dugout, or different things could be. And this, I would say, is a part of one of the handles from T-34. I'm not really sure either handbrake or the, how to say, from gearbox, changing gears. I think it's one of those. Слушай, это не может быть ручка от 34-ки, где или от коробки передач или что-то такое?
Sāna, kas tas?
Sāna, zini, kas tas ir? Sāna pārvadām, roktūr, saucēt.
Pārslēdzējs.
Pārslēdzējs, jā? Jā. So,
Bloķētais, kas uz tā.
yeah, blocking some of the handles.
Tas ir šitā, te stāv pie rokas.
Jā.
Te tross stāv lejā
Jā.
tāds gals.
Nu, tas pie vadītāja bijis, un tas ir priekšējais ritenis.
Ot šitā te ar viņiem.
Pārvadu.
Jā,
Ot šitā ar viņiem strādā.
Jā. So, yeah, rather interesting find.
Davai, Jāni, noņem savus nostiem, tu viņš beidzumu reizreiz. Vienā gabalā. Pabrauc šurti. Šurti braucam šitā klāt. Ņēmā ot šito nostī.
Oh, I think it's Spanish and I know that it's French, and unfortunately I don't speak both of them. So if someone wants to ask something, ask in English. Or someone can translate for those guys, because unfortunately I cannot understand it.
Tas ir pastiem zaļais.
Kaut kāda vadīkla, man liekas. I think that's a driving band from around. Jā, tā izstāsta T3476.
Karoš, tu visiem pateici, jā?
Ko?
Šeit guļ karavīri.
Jā.
Šeit ir sprādziens bedra, ne, ko viņi veidojās apaļ.
Talis says this is a crater. It's rounded. There are soldiers laying,
Jo viņi reku veidojās apaļ.
and here it's ending up, and it's rounded.
Kurā ir ielikt iekšā karavīru ķermeņi,
Where put soldier bodies,
un vēl ir iegāsts kaut kāds saspricināts tanka daļas.
and then parts of blown up tank thrown on top of them.
Un tur reku ir kaut kāds tanka riteņi tajā.
There is a wheel of a tank
Tur ir stobras, es nezinu.
and possibly a barrel of a tank. Some bituminous thing or melted plastic, rubber. Possibly tank was burning here. Jā, redzu, baigi labi.
Un šeit vēl ir atsevišķi cilvēka, nu teiksim, skeleta daļas, kas ir. Mēs Pēc tam kaut kur no šitās apkārt.
And then there in that pit are some parts of human body, not the whole one, but just collected ones from the top.
Reku tur Viktors arī, jā, vienu karavīru eksponē. Tais vaļā, jā. Un tur tālāk nākošā pēdē, reku. Ko tu filmē? Redz tur.
So there is next hole with the next body.
Redz kā jau.
There is in a field guy right in the middle. There is a next hole with the next body. So it's all full. So Joe from Wisconsin, where we are at? We are in Kurland, Latvia. Here was a battle in March of 1945 and you see the result of the battle. Ryan, yes, after the battle possibly farmers pushed everything in the crater. They needed to do agriculture. They needed to feed their families, and possibly no one cared about the dead bodies, explosives and tank parts after the battle. They just left to fight next battle. Hello Chris, sorry for our methods, possibly for you as archaeologist. Eyes are bleeding a little bit, but I hope you understand that we have a little bit different goals for what we do. So in this hole there are 6 bodies at least.
Davai rokam. Viens tur augšā jums ir kaut kur kastīte. Noliec viņš tur. Kas dēls nav galvā tankistiem, viņiem viņas nav vajadzīgi. Viņiem, kas itās un griestiem, vajag grābt.
Tālī, Pēteris prasa, kā iet ar jaunolainas karavīru pārabedīšanu?
Pagaidām iet labi. Mēs vakartien ierakām vienas karavīrus iekšā un rītdien viendienā pie tā sāksim kaut ko darīt. Davai.
Jā, ceru, ka dzirdēji, tāls teica, ka pirmdien pie tā ķersies.
Visi kārtībā, davai, rulē! Rulē, rulē!
So, if you like what we do, don't forget to like our page, so you would be able to see again if we will have live stream sometime soon. And as well, don't forget to make our page see first. Richard, no identification vials for Soviet soldiers after 1942. Then they were abandoned.
Roši, krāp iekšā! Nekautrējies!
Marshall, yes, here we found previously rear armor plate from Joseph Stalin tank, and now we have parts from T-34-76. Tātad. Kas? Nezinu. Neko nezinu. Man īstenībā baigi neinteresē. So you see more human remains. This will be the next place for digging. And dog has found something, but I think he has his own business there. Our dogs are diggers as well. So, and right there guys are working with the ground penetrating grader. And they already have found 2 craters. Any luck? Where is Robert?
Huh?
Where is Robert?
Somewhere over there.
You need him?
No,
I can send him here.
No. We have to check later. There are a
Okay.
lot of craters everywhere. Metal parts like here, this thing,
Yeah,
you know. I don't know, places that we have to check.
yeah. So every pile of dirt you see here, there is a soldier, which we'll open up when we finish that hole. Okay, so I'll go through comments. No, I don't have a new dog. It's one of our guys' dog. I'm not sure whose. Possibly the journalist from local newspaper. So why the live stream is in English and not in other languages is because most of the people know English from the ones who are interested in what we do. And why it's not, for example, in Latvian, because about 2 million people speak Latvian, and I don't know how many hundreds of millions of people speak English, so English is much better for that. Yeah. Okay, now we'll get back to the dog and then to the main crater. Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting to see. So you see where one body is at that place. It's shown here like you know, this peak here
Yeah.
is that place over there. But here are also 2 places. We found metal parts here, so it must be up here.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to search this place also and more places like this, but just as an example how it looks like on a map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can you mark those places so we can get back with
Yes.
with the tractor?
Yes, everything is marked, everything is on maps. You can see here I made so they are all called Waldrand. That's the German for, you know, the side of the forest, because
Yeah.
you know that so that you have different ones. This is 3 white on with hole, that you
Yeah.
know, for orientation. So it's 6 in total, and for every scan I made before a photo, that finally when you check both against each other,
Yeah.
you have a picture of the place that you search and your picture here. So basically you can do an overlay in your mind later.
Good. Okay, so getting back to the hole. So why no one is in the forest right now is because this is the time when crops are taken off the field and new ones are not put in the field. So field now is the biggest priority, because we can work in the forest all year long, but on the field only for 1-2 weeks. So field is main priority. So you see the front wheel of T-34 tank fell on remains. That's why they are so badly crushed. Here is some big steel part among the remains, either unexploded ordnance or some tank part. Any cylindrical object you don't know, you should treat it as an exploded ordnance, because most of the ordnance is cylindrical.
Iedod vēl vienu kastīti, paņem paceļ Anģels,
Vadi
iedod
kaut kādu.
kastīti. Aļo! Vēl vienu kastīti paņem ārā.
Viņš nevar man
Kas tev ir par roku? Viņš šito izkrās ārā, Aināt.
For the ones who have not seen yet, this is a war rubbish pile, tank parts, exploded ordnance, German helmet right here, German MG box, Russian tank machine gun magazine, mortar tail fins, German entrenching tool, again Russian tank machine gun magazine. Here you see the mass grave. Einer's just now found some human remains there. Two Soviet helmets. So these most likely are Soviet soldiers. No, Richard, not at the moment, but we have some Americans in our group. But unfortunately, USA is very far away, and the coronavirus is really bad there, so they cannot come here at the moment. Ryan, yes, as you see, helmets are buried with these soldiers, at least here. But if it is correct grave, for example, near the hospital, then there would be no equipment at all. There will be only human remains. Olaf, at the moment it seems that the soldiers buried at this grave are only Soviet. There is nothing which would identify them as German. But there's a lot of things identifying them as Soviet. Some big steel thing underneath the... Zini, pēc kā man tā štēle izstāsta? Pēc balona no T-34. Saspiestā gaisa balons. Jā. Jā, tā... Un tu jau te stāstīji, muļķīgs. Tu teici stobras tanka. So for me it seems to be the compressed air tank from a tank. These tanks were used to start the engine. T-34 could start its engine either by electrical starter, compressed air, and possibly hand crank, but I'm not sure about that. Hand crank was possible for German tanks. Joe, if you want to donate something to cover some of our costs, then you can follow the link which is in the description of this video. Possibly some of the guys can post it in comments as well. It is on our site Legenda Archeology.com, and there is a button support us, and there are instructions how you can support us. At the moment donations are not covering our costs a lot. The biggest part of expenses is covered from our own pockets. All of these guys you see here, they spend their own money to do this. Yes, Christina, thank you very much. That is the correct link for supporting us. Any amount of money helps. €1 would buy 1 liter of diesel for this beast, and it helps. One coffin, only the cardboard part for the coffin, if I remember correctly, costs somewhere around €5. So even burying soldiers cost money. Everything costs money. Another way how to support us is to get some merchandise, some t-shirts, hoodies and mugs, which we have in the pinned post on our Facebook page. That will help a lot as well.
Kurjanti tur ir nostājās. Jā. Viņš galvenais, es nezinu, Robin vai kam tur ir darītājs. Esot viņu uzvārdu.
Joe, $100 would do about 70 liters of diesel, or 35 coffins. No, not 35 coffins, I'm bad with math. It would be around 15 coffins, yeah. Good night, Joe. Olaf, about the number of missing soldiers, it's actually rather hard to tell how many we have to dig, because for example Soviet soldiers, many of them are counted as buried, but in the real life they are somewhere in the field or in the woods. For example, once we dug around 500 soldiers under the road, and they all were counted as buried, not missing. Talis is as usual. If he's not angry, then it's something wrong. If Talis is shouting, everything is good. And yes, so if we count all of the soldiers from both world wars, then it would be, I would say, around 100,000 more to find. It's a lot of job, and it will be enough for my life and for few generations after me, for sure. And still all of the soldiers will never be found. But we do as much as possible, especially while their families are still alive. Palaist?
Robert! Aizen rintaan salida! Vistur vielä pakkua!
Yeah, another thing why Talis could be a little bit more angry today than usually, because yesterday was reburial of Imperial Russian soldiers, and Talis was home really late and possibly haven't had a lot of sleep. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. Nick, yes, but that's true only for Latvian soldiers and Soviet soldiers, because Germans are not giving us information about the families, and we never meet them. In Germany, data protection laws are very strict, and it's complicated in that matter. Thank you, Olaf, and appreciate your questions, because they help me keep live stream more interesting and more educating. Any questions are good. If you don't know something, don't understand something, need me to explain something, I'll be happy to help. No, Marshall, we already are almost sure that this is T-34-76. There is a front wheel of T-34-76. There are magazines from DT machine gun, which was used on that tank. Here is one which is smashed open, and there is 76mm ammo. Yeah, right here, 76mm ammo exploded, which will lead to conclude that this is for sure T-34-76. It could be nothing else. It was earlier model of T-34 tank, which was produced from 1940 till I think late 1943, and then production gradually switched to T-34-85. At some point both models were made. Grabčiks sūta sveiciens no Subats ar Arnīti.
Pasaka, lai izguļās normāli.
Yes, James, if museums are interested in them, we donate them. For example, one of the most interesting donations was werewolf items. We have found containers with items for werewolf organization. Those were mainly different. The containers, first of all, they were airtight, so the stuff in them was brand new. There was a lot of very strange and interesting explosives and detonators and stuff like that. We contacted Latvian Army EOD, and a lot of those items are in their collection in Latvian Army EOD school. Among them were very interesting British items, British magnetic mines, British fuses for blowing up railways. For me, one of the most interesting things was coal It looked like a piece of coal, but actually it was a piece of explosive with a detonator in it. So a spy could throw it in a pile of coal, and sooner or later it will get into the train engine and blow it up. So it is very, very dangerous stuff. And Latvian War Museum has a lot of those items from us, and Latvian Army EOD School has them as well. Unfortunately, Latvian Army EOD School Museum is closed to public because it's a very special museum to educate EOD guys from all over the world who are visiting Latvia. So if some of you guys are EOD guy and you visit Latvia someday for training, most likely you will be in that museum. So, and here we have a helmet and human remains. The soldier is ripped apart, and helmet is heavily damaged by splinter. There is a head, there is an arm, I don't remember that bone in English. But he's ripped apart by artillery, and then he's just collected in some crater. So really sad story, but hopefully he will be identified. At the moment, only thing I can tell that it seems that it is a Soviet soldier. And here driving bands from something like 120mm gun round, so rather big crater. 122, yes, Soviet was 122. James question how many we have recovered from here. I cannot really tell you. I know I was here on Wednesday. On Wednesday we have recovered 4 soldiers. But how many all in total, then no idea. Yes, James, that was something like Special Operations Executive kit, but from another side. That was a German kit intended for operation behind the Soviet lines. When Soviet would advance, they would leave some guys who would disturb Soviet communication lines and do some terrorist work. But the interesting thing was that in those kits was mixed items from made by France, Poland, the Soviet Union and UK, and not really a lot of German items. Most likely all of that stuff came from storehouses captured in France and storehouses captured in Russia in 1941. Yes, a lot of things happened here, and about the German entrenching tool and German helmet. As for entrenching tool, if Soviet soldiers' entrenching tool was broken, that won't be surprising if he takes German one. And as for the helmet, that's just a rubbish which was laying on a field and then showed back in the crater along with everything else found in the field. Possibly the land was held by Germans at the end of a battle and they took their dead away, but left Soviets. That could happen as well. Tālāk, ko labu teiksi? Evo, cik tu stundas gulēji šodien? Jā, jāsaka.
Man nebija laika, man baznīca, subats baznīcā pie zvani jāsaka.
Viņš bija stūrs, kolēģi.
Jā, jāsaka, Tālis, how many hours have you slept? he said I had no time for that. So most likely no sleep at all for him. This is actually a toothless bucket, but it's smaller because the wide one is not really good for hard ground. Tāli nedari tā. Steven, I think, yeah, Belgian soldiers, they were in Wallonian division, and Belgians, I don't remember finding any of them, but Dutch soldiers we most likely have found among SS Nordland and Netherlands, and for sure when we were in Russia we found one soldier with Wolf's Angel Kragenspiegel. So I think it is Dutch SS insignia. Yes, Andrew, this battle was fought in March of 1945. So it seems they are uncovering as much as possible. So carefully. Klausies, tev nebija kauls, kas nokritis tur apakšā, reku? They are uncovering human remains, but the thing which is disturbing them is the wheel. So they will clean up as much as possible around, take out the human remains, and then try to pull out the tank wheel. As you see, the yellow sand, it's undisturbed ground. No, we are Latvians here. Russia is next to here, and many of our guys speak Russian, most of them actually, but our native language is Latvian. And in Latvia most of the people speak at least, on average, Latvians speak 2.7 languages. So it is either a combination of languages like Russian, Latvian, English, German. Some people speak French. I know many people who speak 4 or 5 languages. It's not something really uncommon here. Yes, the digger would be used to get out the wheel, but first we need to get out the humans which are around it. Talis is angry because someone took his small shovel. Yeah, both of them actually. Duxi is filming some video, hopefully we'll get it.
Šodien esmu laipns. Cienāju ar konfektēm.
A present from Gunča, the driver of the digger.
Davai, kāds paskatās tajā kastē, nav tur vēl nav kādas mazās lāpstiņas, parakājieties vaļā, baigi grūti tam lielām ir makāt šitai.
Es varētu iedot savu sprīdī.
Iedod, Viņš ir česnaks, viņš ir...
He uses this shovel when the digger don't work. The correct size for him.
Nē, man derēs visādi, padod šurpu. Kas tu vēl ir? Kā vairāk?
Yes, there are human remains. This crater actually is full of human remains, and you see those grey trays, and those they are collected. As for the remains of a tank crew, explosion of this power would just pulverize them. There will be nothing left from a tank crew. Those would be tiny pieces. If the explosion ripped apart tank, then it will leave nothing left behind from a human body.
Klausies, reku veli lāptiņas, ja vajag kādam. Reku, paņem ieliec kastītē un varat.
Yes, it is T-34-76, the tank model, Soviet tank, made from 1940 till 1943-44. And imagine when the explosion happens in a tank, the pressure, it would be a huge pressure spike until the armor is ripped apart, and it takes a lot of pressure to do that. Thank you, Marcia. Yes, good amount of people watching. It's really nice. No idea, Daniel. It could be anything, but something really big, possibly airstrike. And Alice says that seems to be end of a trench line. So possibly trench line was bombarded, possibly from airplane. Right there is a trench line. There are at least 6 bodies in a crater. And have we ever recovered a complete tank or vehicle? Talis dug out 2 tanks in 1999, T-34-85 and Joseph Stalin too. He was able to use compressed air in tanks of T-34, and it was running 3 days after it was pulled out of a swamp. And now both tanks are in running condition in a museum in Svente in Latvia. It is not far from Daugavpils. If you are someday in that area, you can visit it and see the tanks which were pulled out by Talis. So John's question: are we worried about bunkers? Talis says it seems to be a bunker. So John's question about an exploded ordnance. Don't you worry about an exploded ordnance. You guys are really close together. Not criticizing, I have no idea about the job you do. So, John, we are not worried about an exploded ordnance. We actually know that we will find it. We always find it. And you shouldn't be worried about it, but you should respect it. Ah! Labi, tūlīt. So, you see here is unexploded ordnance put aside. And when we finish the job, Latvian Army EOD will pick it up. Actually, one interesting piece seems to be German rifle grenade. Not very often to see, but really dangerous thing. Oh, this seems to be a part of a tank engine. I think it was not a piston, but valve. Yeah, valve. Valve is the right name. So you see, big engine. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Now, James, Legenda is not selling anything. Items which are found with soldiers stay with them. So, you see here a shallow crater with the remains of a soldier, a helmet and some bones. Now here you see smaller bones which were taken out, which were mixed among the ground. Here is his pocket knife and a spoon. There is a small chance that on a spoon is carved his initials or his name. That could help identifying him. Here is small splinter from driving band of around rather big caliber, possibly Soviet 122. No, Malcolm, it's not mine dog. It's some other guy's dog. Tas tavējs suns? Ah, it's his dog. Kā viņu sauc?
Orsons.
Orsons?
Baigi labais meklētājs, parāds, kur jārok.
Dog's name is Orsons.
Arsan, reiks paskatīt, kā meklē.
And he's digging as well, all the time.
Arsan, nāc meklē.
Puika, nāc iepauzē.
So we are in Kurland right now, and we are searching for human remains on old battlefield from 1945. This is Eastern Front, Latvia.
Puika. Mednieki draugi visiem. Bēbri tas viņam ir. Tie ir ienaidnieki. Viņam tāds sadamlējums. Vienreiz viņa 8 vietās vāpījām.
He's hunting beavers with this dog.
Tas bija lielāks par to sunu, mēs viņu dabujām, bet no rīta čalis nevarēja paiet. Braucām vāpīt 8 vietās.
Yes, we all miss French bulldog, but hopefully someday I will have another dog. Gan lielais, gan tas Francis?
Jā, tas daini motorlaizī.
Jā.
Tām jau var tur kā rakni, tad bija kaulos sasproduši ķēmas, tur nekājas. Iebakā.
Tā ir karota, kas ir
Ieviedīši, viņš tāds normā, ja?
Nē, tur.
Vai nazīts?
Tur nezinu, es nezinu. Man nav idejas.
Viņš ielīdīši, ja?
Jā, droši.
Reku šķēmba galvā, reku kā ķiverē, reku izgāja kā galvā iesproduši šķēmba.
No, Jan, we were not digging in Narva because there are no Latvian soldiers, but we were digging in Russia near Pskov and Novgorod because there are Latvian soldiers.
Kur viņam vajag? Jo apmainīties vietām. Tad man iznāk. Paskaties. Tad no te uz porno foto.
Duxi wants to show something.
Un tu tur pačakarēs, kur Viktors. Duks čakarēs. Duks paņem savu roku. Kuru? To nāsa. O? Jā, un tagad jūs ap divi tur.
Making photos for newspaper. So why guys are wearing camouflage? It's really easy answer because a lot of that stuff is surplus. It's cheap. It's durable. And you don't see so much dirt on it. And one more thing is that it was made for being in a forest, living in forest. It's really comfortable, and some of the items are soaked in chemicals which prevent ticks and mosquitoes from biting you.
Pasaka, ka armijai vienmēr gatavoja vislabākās apģērbu, vislabāko.
Duxi says that always the best clothes were made for army. For example, if you would use tourist or hiking clothes of the same quality, that would be much more expensive, several times more expensive. And we are not here to look pretty. We are here to do the job. Except Duxi. Duxi is our fashion star.
Jā, klausies, šito te, redzi, kur ir, te ir saraustīts viss ir, bet redzi, metāla gabals ir iesteidzis.
You see a splinter which was stuck in between the remains.
Bet te neko nevar vairāk.
Tas zini pēc kā izstās? Man jau liekas, ka tā ir šitā te bārdas nadzis.
Man tā liekas.
It seems to be... No jā, tas viņam, yeah. It seems to be straight razor right there. And there was some small part which broke off from it, which seems to be that tail piece from a blade of straight razor. A lot of Soviet soldiers were still using straight razors, while Germans were almost all switched to safety razors at that moment. So getting back to the main crater. Yes, Mark, that's why we do what we do, is to bring back people to their families, to finish the story. If soldier is identified, main thing is identification, and then when soldier is identified, then his family is traced. German families are traced by Volksmund, and unfortunately we never know the names of soldiers we find. But the Soviet soldiers, we know the names, and sometimes we meet families, same as the Latvian soldiers. Again, question about live ordnance. If we are worried about it, no, we are not worried about it. We are finding it all the time, and we are just respecting it. You have to respect it. Otherwise it will kill you. If you do dumb things with ordnance, it kills you. Yeah, now Talis says that they built an improvised archaeological table, so that is much easier to work on the middle of a crater. Stuart, yes, these are Soviet soldiers. So about the crops, that's a good question. I'm not a farmer myself. What I can say, these are some grains, but I'm not sure which. Kas vidē ir pa graudiem? Kas?
Wheat.
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 Yeah. So it's wheat.
Varēja mierīgi pateikt, ka zirņi.
Talis says that you could say that these are green peas as well. But yes, that's wheat. So another classical question: what our guys are doing for their daily jobs? Guncha is digging for his daily job, doing all of the digging work. Talis, he's forest manager. Some people are working in security. Some people are journalists. We have a member of Latvian Parliament among us. All kinds of jobs. The thing which connects us is this thing, not jobs we do. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Jimmy, yes, we are missing you as well. Yes, Daniel, you are right. The dot pattern mixes in really good in this field. Thank you for the present. It was great present. Yes, Matt, that's a good topic about the black diggers in Latvia. That problem is not that common because in Latvia there are many guys who are unofficial, but when they find a body, they contact us and we get the body and identification, which is the main thing for us. But that is a really big problem for Russia, Ukraine and Belarus. A lot of cemeteries, even cemeteries, are getting destroyed by black diggers. For the ones are searching for values. Especially affected are SS cemeteries, and that's why Latvian soldiers are affected, because a lot of them were from German side and in SS. We have been in Russia several times, and I myself have been twice digging destroyed cemeteries. Imagine cemetery of 400 people, which everyone should have a dog tag, and out of 400 you get some 25-30 dog tags. Everything else is stolen. All valuables, buckles, anything they could sell is stolen. So I'm really not suggesting you buying any personal items from Russia. No dog tags from Russia for sure. Especially the ones which have rather bad corrosion marks. Those are no-go. Those are most likely from dead people. And the worst thing in that is that they take away identity of a soldier, and these soldiers are then left without their identity. They are thrown in back into trenches and left behind, and families will never know about them. Kas ir?
Tu paņēsi tās silītes, rekomendēji, jā? Pēc tam sarunās ar draugu.
Ar to tur, jā?
Jā. Varēs doties tur savās vidās, kas strādās tajā galā.
Labi.
Tur viens puisis mums zina, ko dara.
No?
Grāmatu lasu, tīrumu staigās, viņš pārs cilvēku grāmatu.
Yeah, Talis says there is one guy right there walking around the field and reading ebook. I have shown you the ground radar. Yes, Thomas, Talis has dug out entire Joseph Stalin II in 1999. So yeah, Talis asked me to take 2 of the trays. You see, you have different ways how to support us, even the ammo cans. They are great for transporting smaller goods. Here are brushes, trowels and other stuff for digging. And yeah, taking trays and going for the next place. So that seems to be what it seems to be. Let's take a look. It is Soviet Maxim ammo can with a belt.
Yeah, we see stuff is.
Canvas belt. I think Russia was one of the last countries using canvas belts. They were really bad when the weather was bad because of feeding problems when it is wet.
No, that's gone, yeah.
Daži šo varbūt ir, jā. Pēc skata vismaz.
Par fāzu, es domāju, ka te arī būs atseks, bet to vajag atseks tā normāli vaļā.
Late war copper washed steel ammo.
No vecajiem krājumiem vēl. Kara beigām gāja, tikai bija dzels.
Nu, bet viņi jau arī ir dzelznieci, tikai viņi ir pārklāti ar varu.
Bet tās viens bija vispār, viņas visi bija baigi ātpūl kopā. Šitās vēl ir tāds...
Tāpēc, ka kastē. Ja tu atlauzīsi, redzēsi, ka tā ir dzelznieci. Tas, man liekas, nav misiņš.
Ir?
Nē, viņi ir... Redzi, uz lūzuma vietas, pelēk.
Metāli, čau.
Dzelznieks, jā.
Tas ir, kur bāž iekšā.
Jā.
Maksimāli.
Yeah, the heavy bullet, it seems, used for machine guns. Pat ir viņai galiņi, varbūt galiņš krāsains ir.
Bet tur bija jāskatās, kā viņu lika pa gabalam iekšā.
Nu, šitā ir kaut kāda speciālā, tā nav parastā. Tā visdrīzāk dzeltenais galiņš bija, ja es pareizi atceros.
Ir kaut kāds, jā. Dzeltens, jā.
Ir dzeltens.
Dzeltens, jā. Parūbīna nāk, dzeltens.
Nē, nu, un viņam bija krāsai jābūt pa virsu dzeltenai.
Viņi tieši ar tām galiem bijusi te ūdeni stāvējis, nav bijis otrā.
Another pile of war rubbish.
Tavs graudzi, kas tavs graudzi?
He's catching a mouse. Uzmanīgi. The rounds were 7.62 by 54 are used for Mosin rifle, detector of machine gun and Maxim machine gun.
Nerā tāds maz līķis.
David, yes, we found grenades today. It's not something uncommon. Find a lot, and guys with ground radar working. Okay, Duxie called me. Go there. Nu, jau rādīju vairākas reizes, jā. Yeah, I shown already.
You have already another example here.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay.
That was the last scan down there, nearly at the end, of the field, and you see there's basically nothing. So most of what happened on the scan was all up here. Let's say, how far is it? 50 meter, something like that. And the more you go down to that direction, the less anomalies, metal and things like that it gets. So for me, the main part is all of this up here. This is the main part.
Okay, and that's rather logical because of the farm here. And farm is on a hill,
Yeah.
and usually they fought in this area for farms.
That's why I checked the forest, the line there. It makes most sense.
Yeah.
And also up there in the corner was nothing. So this place is really good here. This one.
Dense with anomalies.
Yeah, and a lot of metal parts have been there. I think this one must be bigger, where already are bones. It made bigger the hole, definitely.
Okay.
A little bit here, the direction, a little bit to the south.
We'll take digger here after
Yeah.
after finish here. But this isn't that big as the previous one. Dogs es redzu.
Domāju, ka to raut vaļā, kur tur vajag.
Tur Raineram šitam te ir lieli signāli uz aparātu.
Tos labi, kur te tik galā. Paņem Aņu pastāst.
Jā, Gunča?
Viktor, pierāsīs, ņem, kamēr ir.
Iedod pierādziņu.
Jā. Ko es darīšu šodien? Ai, vai ģoķis!
Gunča! Gunča! Jā?
Pierādziņa, ļoti!
Pierādziņi?
Jā.
Labi. Paldies.
Tie ir cēs labākie pierādziņi. Cēsīs tikpat izcep pierādziņi.
Tali says the best pies are in cēsis.
Stālē, man pierādziņa! Jā, pierādziņa! Galvenā pierādziņa! Paldies! Visiem citiem doda mani apdala, vai ne? Šodien karavīri apakšā jāiet.
Viņš saka, ka te ir beidra liela. Šeit vajag paplašināties.
Kas tas piesaktais ir?
Galva un vēl kaut kāds šefels, te viss jārā
Jā.
vaļā un jāstās un nav kaut kāds. Viņš ir
Un viņam te vēl ir signāls baigais.
But this, I think it must be bigger from
Yeah, he said the same. Seems the tank was blown up here.
because here was the head, half of head.
Yeah, and I think
And here is a lot of, it seems everything down is...
and here, did you get something here? Art here.
And the food is small pies with ham.
I think what you can do for orientation, every dark spot here.
Yeah.
There's every dark spot in this place. It's interesting.
Okay. Visas melnās vietas, kura ierakts, visur bija diezgan daudz viņam uz radara.
Like you see here, and there's these two. This here is
Yeah.
this, and these two, you see, these two small ones here. They are there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Šķēms te būs dafigā te viss. Kad?
Alstāvs, jā. Ne flīzīt.
Stāstam grīt flīzēt.
Pulkveids braukā.
Izlieta bija.
Kaut kas lielāks.
Tad parot vaļā.
Something bigger. Seems to be ordnance, an exploded ordnance.
Jā, pa malā.
It was close to the hole. I think then it's what I have seen. But here's also, you know.
Oh no, it's not ordnance. Something bigger. Andrew, no, they are called only when we finish. Then we call EOD. Because otherwise they will have to spend whole day here. They have plenty of a job in Kurland anyways. Because when these fields are plown, farmers find a lot of ordnance as well. It's nothing unusual for Latvia.
Paņem visu aizpētā.
Pagaid, čaulatāji, man liekas.
Nē, nav.
No?
Labi.
Yeah, he just broke his shovel. Tā ir čaula paka, man liekas, garā. Ne? Nē. A barrel. Axle. Axle from something. Jā, Māra ir, mēs rakstam protokols. Tas viss tiek darīts. Daniel, that's for sure. They stack live rounds with plows daily. That's nothing uncommon for Kurland.
Arī kaut kāda lūciņa bija kaut kāda uz pusēm pārsist. Taču bija, Ingūns jau pats bija klāt.
Vienīgas neļaut ārā saliet.
Tāls var pieturēt, tu piespied atpakaļ.
Tas nav kāls?
Robert, kom ik maar zo laatste.
You see what happens with Equinox. He's walking with Equinox, and because of that handle, it goes like this. And on the ends of the swing, it's really ineffective.
It always slips away.
It's a good machine, but fault in ergonomics.
Yeah, I see. I think it was so big, that's it.
Yeah, it's unmixed ground. Switch to next one.
It was a big one.
Yeah. Rather big axle, and I doubt that tractor bent it. Most likely bent from explosion before. So what time it's here? It's 12. Midday. Yes, Marek, we have found some ancient stuff, but we even found one unregistered Kurland cemetery while searching for German soldiers, and then we informed our local archaeologists, and they were very happy about that, and we even had dig there together with them. It was a nice experience. We have good connection with local archaeologists. Motor is in the back. It's not a big motor, it's some 1.6 liters or something like that. Right there. You'll see the cooling gills and exhaust. Found some small bones in the dirt. Pieces of bones are here everywhere because of explosions and no, Matt, it's because almost no one is smoking here. Aaron's question, what do we do if we find an old bomb? We call Latvian Army EOD. First we call police, and then they call Latvian Army EOD. Nothing happening here. Let's get back to previous crater. Lighter pressed together from explosion. No, Alex, it's not really far from towns. It's rather populated area. Here villages around and small town not far away. Larry, that depends on the filling. For example, the picric acid over the time, if the moisture gets into the round and it is able to react with the steel, then it forms salts, and those salts are really unstable, and that is especially true for World War I ammo, because in World War I ammo here picric acid was rather common, and that's really dangerous. But it's especially dangerous if someone tries to unscrew it. Right there I see 3 grenades, 3 F1 grenades and 1 RG-42 grenade. And in Second World War it was used as well, the picric acid. It was like a substitute for TNT. It was cheaper to produce, but the problem of reactivity, of how it forms salts with the metals, is the biggest problem with it. It is the danger. Yes, Daniel, you are right. That's modern Russian camo, which is copied from German Second World War camo.
Drons, jā?
Modas kliedzi, saprot, vajadzīgs nekāda. Bet pat cik ir... Tā kā visi tāda... Tā kā visi, jā, nu tad,
Bāra instinkts.
Bet, protams. Un vēl runā, ka Darvina teorija nestrādā. Nu, skaidrs, ka no mērķiem izcēlušies.
Jā.
Thank you, Scott.
Jā, nu tāda, tā visai. Bet nu, kaut ko viņš tur baigi dara. Viņam tā patīk. Nu, bet, tā jūtas.
Tā jūtas, jā?
Tā sīkstaņām riņķi ir, ko es...
That is a leather belt. Talis is cleaning up right now. And there seems to be another belt.
Tā ir pāra granātām varbūt, ne?
One he uses for trousers.
Jā. Tā ir pāra pleksa.
And one is used for carrying equipment.
Tā ir uzkaps.
And it is rather wide, possibly German belt. Rather common for Russian soldiers to use German belts. They were more wide and comfortable.
Ko viņi tur izrakuši tagad?
To asi izraku un tālāk čakarējās, nekas tur nav. Kur zemes delegācija ieradās?
Kas tā pa delegācija?
Eidža ar Albertu.
Delegācija. Tas ir vesela zodi.
If farmer finds the remains of a soldier, different things happen. In the worst case, he leaves it as it is, but usually they either call directly to Latvian War Cemetery Commission and they contact us. Tev atslēgas kauls nokritā. But yes, sometimes they contact police. Yeah. At the end, the soldier gets to us. Anyway. So right now it is a crater, and here are remains of Soviet soldier who is greatly damaged by artillery. He has his grenades with him, belt, and we'll clean it up a little bit later. After the work, we call Latvian Army EOD and police, and they take care of unexploded ordnance.
Viņš būs tā dabla apģērbēk.
Pagaidiet, šitan vēl bija divas bedres. Labi. Here is crater with another soldier from the Wednesday. Vārdu izņem. Tālī, vārdu izņem.
Vai to kafiju ielikt? Jā.
Kā tev tas kinošņiks atrauc? Tur jau vajadzētu uzcelt augšā.
Labi, to dai pagaidām.
Laiks paies, kamēr viņš vēl izcels.
Davai parociet tevot no šitās te vietas tajā. Jā. Давай попросту настроение.
Tev apbrauc tāji. Tagad televiziončik sada.
It seems that local TV came here. So not only newspapers, but TV as well. And Daniel, no, we have not found Pak 40s, but we have found ammo for them. So Matt, in that hole were some human remains, and it seems to be a bomb crater. And on this field, almost all of the bomb craters are having more or less human remains in them. Mark, I didn't understand your question. Kā tev vērtāk tā skatīties vai caur telefonu? So what do we do with human remains? We find them, then we identify them, then we try to find relatives, and then they are most likely buried on war cemetery. So they are getting their names back if possible and getting decent burial on a war cemetery. Tālī, zini, kā šito ārzemēs sauc, kā tu stāvi? Teikannas poza.
Čaļs.
1200. Jā, jā. I would say here temperature is somewhere around 17-18 degrees Celsius. Nu tā, pēc prognozes es skatījos, tagad es nezinu, tā pēc sajūtām. And it's Sunday here.
Visi lēnām sanāk iekšā šito attīru vaļā. Tiks kaveri mājās var izķēt. Ko tu gribētu to bedri? Davai.
Jā, man vai sapīt, varam celt augšā.
Davai.
So Tali said for the guys to carefully clean up.
Davai, tu vsё, attaisat vaļā visus tos kaulus. Jā, davai, mēs tur
To
ejam.
carefully open up the hole and clean up the topsoil.
Jā, bet tad nāk šurp. Mēs te gribam to spēlēt pēc tā. Lūdzu. Jā.
This often happens. You start as a journalist and then the disease is spread to you. You buy a metal detector and a shovel. Start digging with us. Yeah, I see. Iekāpšu. Duxi is filming for YouTube. He's doing YouTube videos. Yeah, this is how it looks.
No dzīvnieku arī kauls.
Yeah, there are some animal bones.
Kur ir animals?
Rekur.
Tas ir zirgs. Camel.
Tali says horse, bone of a horse. A lot of human remains, a lot of war rubbish. Tank parts mixed in. We'll show from different angles. the wheel of T-34 tank, T-34-76 air tank from the same tank. Broken up
Tur
bone,
apakšā vēl ir, tur
pieces of
apakšā vēl
that.
zem tās kājas un lejā tur ir. Tas ir priekšējais.
Es saprotu, vai te kāds izsiniekam apurnieks?
Nezinu, kantains viņam ir.
Jā, protams.
Pasties googlē.
Tas ir T-34 priekšējais ritenis.
Priekšējais,
Jā. Īsaniekam ir citāds.
Vienkārši izsiniekam
Balons tas gaļas.
Yes, Alison, we are all volunteers. And
Jā.
Kom!
we try to survey
Tirsties.
as much of a field as possible. But some areas are more interesting, where more signals. About the GPS coordinates, no, I will not give it to you or to anyone else. Here are remains of at least 6 people in this hall.
Davai, klausies, kāpam lejā. Filmējam no šitējiem sev sākam.
Paņem tos kastes nost viss.
Pagaidām, viss izkāpam lūdzu ārā. Možnā paprasīt, jūs izkāpam ārā, paņemam tās kastes. Noceļam vienu brīdi nost.
So, letting local TV to work.
Paldies. Tas medālis bija apmēram
Augšējam šķiedā.
kaut kur šeit.
Paņem to poltu.
Approximately there was a medal.
Reku,
Talis
pie tā
put it
pirmā galvas
in the area.
Visi kaut kur apmēram šajā vietā bija. Un tev kādā valodā izstāstīt, kas tā tāds?
По-русски.
По-русски, да? Ты будешь сейчас снимать или что будешь делать? Квадратная?
Не, ну серьезно.
Квадратное телевидение показывает всегда.
Apaļie nav?
Нет, кончились.
Так, это в карман? Вот этот в карман?
Нет, это так все там.
Viss šo в karmānu.
Все, микрофон кончился, он тоже испортился.
Also, Talis is prepared for interview. For the ones who have just connected, this is place from where we started today. This is a mass grave in some kind of crater or something like that. There are human remains mixed in with tank parts, and soldiers seem to be Soviet soldiers. Battle was here in March of 1945, Second World War. Arne, I already told you, I will not give any GPS coordinates or exact place name. Yeah.
Kam tas vajadzīgs kādam?
Kaut kāds ārzemnieks.
Tieši kam? Viss kārtībā, tu man dzirdi, jā? Viens, divi.
Да. Давайте вылезем, не видно всего.
Всего не видно? А мне все равно надо будет обратно туда лезть. Тебе как-то все равно надо будет все детально.
Да, детально будет. Если детальки будем показывать, спустимся и покажем. Но для начала общая информация, что здесь, как вы это нашли, какая история?
Ну вот нашли тут, это примерно месяц, я думаю, март 45-й. Где-то вот этот период, бои за этой окрестности, да. Несколько них тут было. Тут якобы каких-то 50 человек, только следующий пропавший, ну не думаю, что это цифра уже давно переедена. То, что мы тут в этих окрестных нашли, да. Есть такой парень Эрикс, он где-то там сейчас находится, да. Он на таком аппарате, на одном инструменте, он просто нашел сигнал, да, скажем так. После чего было проведено предварительные работы, скажем, такая разведка. Один день посмотрели, сколько и что и как тут находится, какие ситуации. И сегодня происходит, скажем, экспедиция, да, которая уже полностью эксгумационная работа.
Тут видны металлические...
Что мы видим тут? Мы видим тут, что там видно, что был конец траншеи, тут был здание сзади, дом,
откуда шел низ траншея, и это предварительно был какой-то бункер или укрепленная позиция, что-то такое. После войны или после боя, мы это не знаем, скорее всего после боя, тут уже завалено, скажем, если можно так, все похоронено в одном таком месте, да. И мы там видим люди, солдаты, которые вот там лежат, там где примерно вот эта медаль, там где она была найдена за отвагу. Части от бронетехники, в данном случае это танк Т-34, да. И даже там сзади видно останки, которые есть из животного, скорее всего это лошадь, да. И которое было все притащено и, скажем, в одно место. И сделано такое захоронение, где их, скажем, захоронили. Кто это сделал, как это сделал, это сделали гражданский человек или армия, или одна, или другая. Мы об этом, конечно, только можем догадываться, да. Если я там подойду поближе, можете подойти. Это вот примерно это колесо от танка, которое тут стоит в этом месте, да, переднее. Это есть кость ноги от животного, от лошади, да, который вот тут лежит. Еще раз попробуйте. Вот этот кость от животного, который здесь находится, да, и где-то они так уходят. Это уже отдельно стоящие человеческие останки, там тоже видно ноги человека, да. И здесь, как сказать, это рука человека. Тут уже целостность идет останки человека. Это награда одного солдата медаль за отвагу, которая была.
Еще раз покажите.
Это медаль за отвагу, которая находится. Он был награжден примерно в районе груди, он так и нашелся, где он там примерно лежит, да. Это тоже опять из техники. Это так называемый баллон сжатого воздуха для холодного, ну, для спуска бронетехники, ну, я не знаю по-русски правильно слова, чтобы завести танк, скажем, таких инструментов используют, как сжатый воздух. И тут видно, в этом секторе больше складывано солдаты, да, если мы видим, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 примерно останков людей, которые в этом углу как-то там, ну, назовем, что они как-то там складываны здесь, да. В том части какая-то ну, внизу как-то лежит одно, лошадь, скажем так. И все это еще завалено бронетехникой. Какие-то мелкие мусор от поля боя, там в данном случае это взорванная гильза от танкового снаряда 76 миллиметров. Ладно, это не так важно. Дальше то же самое продолжается. Останки людей, непременный слой, как мы видим, тут этих останков есть. Если мы можем, так сказать, мы сейчас должны начинать снимать этот верхний слой, чтобы освободить и попасть до нижних, ну, скажем, этих слоев. Всего, что тут есть, металл, останки животных, останки людей. Этот слой примерно составляет 70, 80 сантиметров. Вот в этом месте, да, такой, который мы должны освободить всего этого, от всего, что тут находится, да. Это тоже от техники какая-то часть, которая тут находится. Это тоже бронетехника, тоже какие-то вот предметы уже от бронетехники. Это мы опять приходим обратно танковыми частями, да. Это боекомплект из танка, так называемая пулемет Диктерова, танковая модель. Это его боекомплект и какой-то взорванный снаряд какой-то остался, это диски.
Еще раз покажите.
Это вот этот, который здесь находится, да. Он здесь тоже находится, который все это как-то тут брошено. И посередину всему этому, если вы видите, руки человека там находится, какая-то отдельно стоящая часть ног, да, которая нигде она начинается и там же кончается, да, что трудно сказать, что это как-то все собрано и здесь как-то там все завалено в одном месте, да. придется все это сейчас еще один раз перебирать и что-то открывать и все остальное. Да. Так что это в таком. И медленно возвращаемся обратно, это опять этот танк. Ну и вот там видно, что солдаты, которым есть награды. Может быть еще какого-то солдата есть. Еще награды, да? Но мы это сейчас на данном этапе не знаем. Да.
Спасибо. Так, а на поле ведутся работы еще. Там подобные захоронения, не знаю.
На поле ведется работы, которые, скажем так, находятся в том же. Там проводятся работы, которые. Вот это первое, которое мы видим посередину, якобы та последняя, где сейчас люди, парни работают. Там находятся солдатские останки посередину, еще находятся солдатские останки. Скорее всего, это поле боя, которое было после боя убрано. И так они остались до наших дней. Пожалуйста, пара турпина. Спасибо. Спасибо.
So, interview is over and guys can continue their job. I can look through the comments. So, so the Battle of Stalingrad page. This is battle, one of the Kurland battles, the last one in March of 1945, and this was a small part of it. So, Adam, about the Joseph Stalin, I'm not sure if it was destroyed here. Here for sure was completely destroyed T-34. From Joseph Stalin tank we have found only the rear armor plate. Hello Barbara, nice to see you again. So again, question from Battle of Stalingrad page. Here are no big parts left. It is not really a tank, but just fragments of it. The biggest and recognizable fragment is the front wheel from the tank. It is right behind the camera of the journalist, right in the middle of the screen. Right there. So what else? How did we come across this battlefield? Kurland, all is one big battlefield, and we are searching all the time here. And sometimes we find more promising places like this one. That's how we found it. So again, this is some bomb crater or position which was possibly a bunker which was used after the battle. Yeah, which was used after the battle as a big rubbish pit, where all of the battle rubbish was thrown in by someone, most likely farmers. And here are human remains, full bodies, parts of bodies, horse parts, tank parts, live ammo, all mixed in together, and it's really hard to work here, really hard to separate something. Yeah, so I went through all of the comments. If you have any more questions, just ask. I'll try to answer them. So, more war rubbish from the hole. Here are ammo from T-34 tank DT machine gun. The magazines, I think, each held 65 rounds. And here is part of 76mm Soviet round, again used on T-34 tank, T-34-76, the earlier model. It seemed that it blew apart and the bigger parts were collected for scrap metal. Possibly we'll find a hull or turret somewhere on this field as well. No idea at the moment. Sunci? Yes, Barbara, most likely done by the local farmers, because they had to grow crops and they tried to do as much as possible, but if your field is covered in hundreds of decaying bodies, flies around them and other awful things, you just need to keep doing your living somehow. And if army was not interested in picking up their dead, then farmers had to do it somehow. They just filled in craters with as much stuff as possible and continued their job. Oh, sorry, some problems with Zoom. Es pagaidām ne. Nē, galīgi ne. How often we come across pits like this? From time to time, at least once a year. Something like this. Mass graves are nothing special for Kurland. It's usual thing. We started this pit on Wednesday. We understood that here will be a lot of human remains. Then we left it till today, and today we will finish it. And we have another places as well. You see guys right there on the field, they are still digging. It started to become sunny, so it's rather hard for me to see all of the comments. I actually will take off the shirt, otherwise it's a little bit too hot. So the bonus, he died last year in end of May. He was bitten by a viper, but this is not my dog, this journalist's dog. So about the identification, we found one medal, possibly from that guy whose helmet Duxi is holding right now. And that guy will be identified, but it would be really hard to separate him. Yeah.
Varbūt arī tas no tāda samest, es vienkārši... Es nē, domāju, tas no paudžu. Viņa vilka ir samest iztās.
bones are in wrong places because it's all together. You see separated hands, separated legs. Awful place. It was just everything what laid on a battlefield was thrown in one crater. In this pit at least six people, but how many in total? No idea at the moment. Zvaigznī? Yeah. You see a Soviet button, Soviet uniform button. Klausies, vari paturēt telefonu kādu brīdi? Es novelkšu krāki, tad baigi karsts. Jā. Kopskats tādā viņiem, kā viņi darbojas.
Tūplāni vajag.
Parādīja viņam to zvaigznīti.
Jā.
Pāli, pasties, saldus zeme iziet nākamajā līmenī.
Jā.
Wow.
Rādi.
Kas tā ir? No, tas ir smēķis. Reku gvardija. Reku nauda. Vēl kaut kas. Kas te ir? Jā, kaut kas.
Reku munštuks, jā.
Jā, munštuks smēķi.
A mouthpiece,
gvardija.
Some small personal belongings,
Vai
possibly a
kāds
pocket
tāds gvardija. Kas te ir?
or his wallet.
Stuciņš skaists.
Tāds ir labs, jā. Man tāds ir.
Tagad šitā ir nauda. Kas par naudu?
Tagad some money as well.
Nav sodamnieks.
Looks like it is silver coin. What is it?
Nē, toķina jau.
What is it?
50 sodamnieks. Jā.
50 kas?
Krievu kapeika?
Padomīs
vai
sarlaika? Nē, padomīs, bet sākuma 20.
20 gadi?
Jā.
Vai, to gan nevajadzēja. Nu, kas tur ir? Parādi tuvāk.
Redzējis nebija.
Я тоже не видел таких.
Nu, да.
Pagaid, nekustē.
Не?
Čau. 20 gadu točno redzēts.
Nu, jā.
20 gadu nav redzēts.
Kur palika?
Nu jā, viņām pirmās jau bija no sudu.
Nu, tā ir 50. 50, nu,
Nu
robi
jā,
vēl.
pirmās.
Пēc cara laika standarta.
Jā.
Я только слышал о таких.
Один пальтянник. Kas tas būtu angliski?
Уже такие видел сама, а вот именно серебряная не попадалась ни разу.
Aha.
Vajadzētu vispār tīrīt. Poga laikam.
Vēl?
Šitā ir nauda.
Aha.
Paldies.
Paskaties.
Davai, kā liekat ārā tos karavīrus.
Boigs sabumbīts, ne?
Jā, pasies, redzi?
Jā, man jau kāds rāpīs.
Nē, tas nav, tas ir normāli. Bet viņam ir, kur ir iet iekšā, re?
Looks like it's got this...
Ko jūs tur taisat tagad? Ko jūs tur ņematies?
Ņemam ārā galvu no ķiveres.
Ko viņam ir?
Looks like it's smashed in the head.
Ko tu tur rokā berzē? Kas tas ir? Vēl viena medaļa?
Nē, gvardija. Gvardija mums toks.
Ir, jā. Mums bija par tām gvardēm bija jautājums.
Redzi?
Gvardas daļa.
Šitas ir žoklis.
But jauns čels, looks like it's been a young fella.
Bet šits ir pieši tā.
Redzi? Šitā te viņam ir.
Pieši tā varētu būt.
He's got a bullet in the nose.
Viktor. Reku, bekmen.
Kastē.
Reku. Šitā varētu būt pie tā zēna.
Viņš šitien te
Viņš
bija.
te bija. Nu tieši
šeit,
zem
ja?
šitā.
Davai tad. Jā.
Šitā. Ne?
Tagad man vajag maisiņu.
Nedaudz. Jāģem, ā? Viņš sāk meklēt.
Jā, viņš teica, vai atsūtīs.
Nozviedot no telefona.
Kas?
Tur tāds telefona izvilkšu, ne?
Andres, paņem maisiņu vienu.
Davai, mainās apakšu.
Mainamies.
Ļaus tev strādāt.
Tas mierīgi.
Yeah. So you see personal belongings getting into plastic bag.
Visi sagatavās. Viņam drupa zēnam. Apsies, viss pilnībā.
Kur paliktās personīgās? Tā naudiņā te ir, ja?
Naudiņa.
Naudiņa tur, ja?
So I'm getting through the comments.
Я взял пластмассовый, потому что мало если что-то ищешь, чтобы сигнал не давало.
Tā vērtvardi es nopilnēju kašiņu angliski neizstāstīju.
Šitā? That is half ruble. Half ruble coin, silver. Yeah. And as you see, silver is very damaged from body fluids on this side at least, and possibly heat as well.
Vēl viena monēta.
So the excavator, it is Gunč's excavator. He's working with it daily, and yeah, we at least have to cover his fuel expenses to get here and to work here. But on work days we pay rent for excavator as well, as he spends time with us instead of working for his family.
Nu ir kaut kas. Monēta ir, bet te ir pieklusēt metāls. Metāls saēdies.
Mēs vēl strādājums. Vai nagadījumi jau?
In the other side, the other craters with human remains, but nothing interesting, and I think not full bodies, very damaged by artillery.
Bet tā bija izskatās vienā un tā pašā vietā, kur tā medaļa. Jā, bet tā medaļa bija vienam, tā gvārdiņa tā bija otram.
Nu tā,
tas ir vienam, tas ir otram. Visai.
So went through the comments, ready for new questions. The personal belongings as well,
It looks like another one.
yeah, they identify them as Soviet soldiers, and very possibly from a guards unit because of a guards badge. But the guards badge, this one, it could stay with the soldier after he changes unit. It was allowed for them to keep their guards badges. Once they were in a guard, they stay in a guard even if they are in non-guards unit. T-34 ammo.
Tas ir pie tā džikiņa, ko tu izcēli, ja?
Jā, šitā.
Guys in the background are working as well.
Kučalo? Krāsēm,
Kauls kustina.
Tas paņem tā lapu, viņš norāk, lai vēl ikur uz leju pamest.
Vēl 3 galvas.
Jā?
2 rīkīši. Kur vēl vēl? Kur bija?
Tā, šeit tā, viena, otrā.
Te bija steidz?
Nē, viena šeit.
One head is there, under that steel part, and other one there under the leg bone. And that in the middle is, Talis thinks it's a horse bone, but it is not a human bone for sure. Barbara, no name tags, because all of these soldiers seem to be Soviet. It seems that Germans took away their dead and buried them. So most likely ground was taken by Germans. It is excavated. That is a piece of the helmet, and underneath it is soldier's skull, crushed skull. No, Martin, these soldiers, they were killed in battle, and then someone tidied up, how to say, the battlefield by throwing everything in one pit. John, yes, these are Soviet soldiers, and after we recover them, we will try to identify them as much as possible. We will we'll research the medal which was found in the morning. This is casing from 76mm gun. Yeah, you can see through how splinters went through it. And this round was used in Soviet guns and tanks. So yes, the medal will be researched, his name will be found, and then we will search for his relatives. Hopefully we will find them. Chris, these are percussion primers. Soviets experimented in early war with electric primers, but at the end they ditched the idea. German tank rounds are electric primed. Yes, Daniel, it seems that in this place Germans won, and that's why we don't see German dead here, but only Soviet ones. But again, from, for example, that leg, you cannot tell the nationality, just because all the rest of the soldiers are Soviet. Here we assume that that is a Soviet soldier as well. You see a small piece of arm bone, which is you can see small fragments of bone. It's really hard to work here. Leg bone cut off by splinters.
Paskatīsies, varbūt visus tos sīkumus pārbērt vienā. Jā. Kaut ko kaut kastu laukā. Vai kaut kādiem sīkumiem, ko tur ir.
Laukā nav, viņiem kastes.
Iekšā tā tur tiem sīkumiem nav kaut kāda arī.
Tur ir kauli. Jā.
Sīkumi jau visādi.
Jā.
Varbūt tas sabērt visus vienā jau.
Maisā varbūt?
Vai nu maisa.
Tā tīras tieši procesā. Monēs tieši process, tas jau arī viens.
So, at least 3 bodies here. At least 4 there. And I think 1 was here, so 7, 8 at the moment. How many in total we will know only when we count.
Labi, tagad jūs droši darboties tālāk.
There in this skull you can see clearly damage from a splinter. Right there. Right there, you see the damage.
Nu tad vienu maisu, davai uz turieni. Un granātu paņem atnes šurpu. Un lai ekskavators teic ciet.
Yes, Barbara, most likely Russians were attacking here, Germans defending, and then possibly Germans went into counterattack and recaptured ground which Russians took away from them.
Jāni iedo. Arī maisā. Kas tur notiek?
Bez mata neiet.
Dakškarote? Vācu?
Parastā. Tik nav galva.
Jā. This for sure don't seems to be a burial done by their comrades, because it's not how you treat your friends and people with whom you fought together. I suppose it's cleaned up by farmers after the battle. John, the place is Kurland in Latvia. More precisely, I will not tell.
Kāda buņģiņa bijis, ietīta redz.
Thank you, Alexander. Appreciate it. For Germans, the problem was that Germans had no antibiotics back then, and Germans died much more from not that serious wounds because infections started. And for example, Allied soldiers, they had penicillin already, and that helped to save a lot of lives. But for Germans, there was no antibiotics, and many of them died because of infections. Because during the battle, all of this mud and things get into wounds, and really easy to get infected.
Это не его рука?
Ну.
Это его рука, но вот
она
согнута, да. Она как уходит куда-то туда, здесь была еще чужая рука.
No. Ой, зака.
Была, то я руку вынимал.
Oi, bija tas ir.
Cik skatās? 800. Bija līdz 1300.
1300, ja?
Atgādiet, kur mēs atrodamies, tie, kas tikko pieslēdzās.
Es saku, te jau pajautā laiku pa laikam, te es pasaku.
Labi,
Interesanti būs redzēt, cik dāli tas ektens.
Kāda daļa no viņa, ja?
Viņš ir vesels.
Viens čels vakar 10 pacēl. Ko? Zau.
Jā?
Galam.
Тряску я ему кидаю туда, да? Ну, здесь кидал. Ну, сначала тут были батоны, которые поднял. Ну, то есть маленький.
Tam nebija no šejienes viņš ir.
Tam ir mogurkals. Nu, reku, tā varētu būt. Reku gūža. Tur gūži. Šitam. Šit var nav gūža. Tas ir kaut tur kā paiziet. Viņi jau stāvi ir. Viņi
Samest visu.
tur uz čēs. Viņi sagriezti.
Tas tomēr nebūtu balons, ne?
Kas? Vajadzētu būt?
Domāju, attīk.
Jā, viņi gari bija. Štādi te.
Nu, tur ir diezgan daudz te gaisa.
Un pie tam viņi divi bija.
Vai šito iekšā?
Tā, šitam.
Jau kur viņa vadītājiem blakām stāvēja tieši priekšā.
Iekšpusē tam kā?
Puisim bija.
Jā. And Tyler shows a spoon which was found with a soldier,
Šitie karavīri paši taisīja frontē.
which was found with a soldier in another crater. And these spoons were trench made,
Nu, tāpēc jau viņas ir visas katra ordināla.
trench art.
Katrs karavīrs pats viņas taisīja.
Every soldier made them by himself.
Viņas rūpniecis neražoja vairāk. Svarījās beidzīt.
Tie jau bija no mājām ņēma līdzi.
Nu viņi pēc koka karotes veidi taisīti.
Formus taisīt.
Kaut kādā mālā iespiež iekšā savu ielē.
Pēc tam apvīlē.
Pie 10. Jāstāsta, kas kuram ir, jāliek klāt. Vienkārši galvenais galskals ir. Jāsāpliek. Man tur ir daļas, man no viena kāja būtu, otra man daļa. Un kājas būs. Viens man ir, vēl vien vajadzētu klāt. Kas tur bija? Ko tur? Šitā jau atnes
Viktor! Nāc ņemt sev augšā uz malas lietas zemē tos somas mēram, lai mēs varam pateikt šitu cilvēkiem.
Spoon was cast from aluminium. They can use German muskets, German water bottles, ammo boxes for MGs, parts of airplane, and melt it all together, and then cast it into sand, clay, something. And then it was filed down, so it is smooth and ready to use. Those spoons actually they were made in the form of a wooden spoon. A lot of guys were from countryside and they got used to wooden spoons and not the like modern ones which guys from a city used. And that spoon was not held like you usually hold a spoon, but it was grabbed with a full fist, like you would take a stick, and in that way it was more comfortable to use the old type of spoon and not the modern one. Plus it had bigger capacity and Soviet soldiers had no need of other cutlery other than spoon, because most of the food was soft. Those were porridges, soups, a lot of bread together with those, and nowadays it would be considered very healthy food. Yes, Barbara, in general, German soldiers were equipped better than Soviets, but they had a lot of items which Soviet soldier considered unnecessary, and if someone wanted them, they took them from Germans. For example, tent pegs. Russians had no tent pegs, they just cut off some sticks and used them as tent pegs. German soldier carried all the time 3 tent pegs with him, and it's additional weight. It's more easy to set up a tent faster, but you all the time carry extra equipment. John, you have a good question. Are the authorities present on these digs? In this case, we are the authorities, because we are members of Latvian War Cemetery Commission. For example, me, my father, Duksi, Talis. Talis is director of one of the branches of War Cemetery Commission, and in that way we are the authorities, plus we have all of the paperwork made for doing that. Yes, Barbara, the problem, that was a big problem with the antibiotics. Germans, as far as I remember, they had no technology to make antibiotics. Давай! Yeah, Talis is calling me that I need to get fast to him and finish something. Ko iefilmēt tālu?
Nu, karavīri šitos te. Tūdā ņemam mēs viņus ārā. Ēdam pulksteni. Pa vienam.
Visi tās nāk, tu tā nobļādāt, tu visi nāk.
Vai.
Tu paklausīgi, ka esi, ka sanās no skaits.
Nu, pareizi. Labi. Tīrā ziņas nokārams šķīr. Tā to vajadzēja apnīt un redzēja. Tīrā ziņas visi nāk. No. Normāli.
How we do keep track of whose bones are whose? By uncovering them. The watch is hidden inside the first aid kit, and that's the reason why no one took it. Dennis, it's a ploughed field, no landmines here. Nothing to worry about. Julian, if you are asking about how long it will take to recover all bodies in Kurland, it will never be done. How long it will take for the old bodies to be recovered here? Today we will finish, but we will continue another day. Actually, we have found sometimes bodies which are booby trapped with grenades under them, with trip wires and stuff like that. It happens sometimes, but luckily the mines and grenades, they won't really work as they were designed to work. So no one was injured and nothing blew up. Talis is using original pickaxe on some scrap metal. Seems to be Katyusha rockets. Empty ones.
Man ir divs. Kā neatrauties. Tu ar vēsturisku kirku figari? Nevajag runāt ar sliktiem vārdiem.
Joe, about the ranks, we cannot tell. There are no shoulder boards left, but no officer insignia found either. So, not officers most likely. But about unit, possibly a guards unit, because one guards badge is found, but again it almost means nothing, because soldier could keep his guards badge when switching units as well.
To mēs vairāk tā kā neraksim šodien, mēs tā kā vairāk uz augšu aiziesim, ja?
No, he was just having fun with his pickaxe. He likes to shock people.
Oļeg!
Saspaidīja pogas?
Nespaid pogas. Pogas nav domāts, ka viņas spaidīt.
Nu, kas te bija jāskrien? Pulksteni? Pastīties?
Nē.
Vai vienkārši tev gribēs, lai es paskrēju?
Paskrēju. Tas ir parādīt, kad Oļegam ir normāli kirku.
Kuru tu salauzi jau malas nost?
Kas tā pa kirku, Johan Štraus? Nu kas tā pa kirku? Kas tā pa kirku, jau Oļeg?
Paņem salauzi malas.
Tā ir tās a kirku.
Talis broke a pickaxe.
Kas tā pa kirku? Nu pasties, nu.
Broke the edge. Ja viņi nav domāti pa dzelžiem daudzīt tā.
Kur tad viņi daudzīt? Ja zeme sasalst, viņi ir cieta kā dzelzis. Viņi kas domā, tu vācieši viņām puķītis stādīja šitā te, ja tā te un iestādīja puķīti, ja tu?
Talis asks, what else they are meant for, to plant flowers? Do the Germans planted flowers using these pickaxes?
Mēs īrijā puķis stādījām ceļu nomalēm kirku.
Kas tā pa kirku?
Tur jau nav augsne.
Kirkai vienkārši jāsaliecās astotniekā, bet jāpilda funkcijas, nevis jāsalūst. Viņi arī var astotniekā saliekties.
Check at that moment, scrap metal like that wasn't valuable at all, because you had tanks to scrap, and some small things were not interesting.
Reku ir trešā kaste. Reku, ieber vēl tos tur, kas tur aizmugurēs. Tā vienā maisā vēl tur karavīrs. Tā tos arī ieber vienā kastē. Tā, pajiet no te visas sūdzes.
Varbūt mēs kaut ko izspēlējam ārā.
Te ir galvas. Jā, ieber šitajā te.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. Tā, davai. Paņems vienu pierādziņu no tevis un ies tālāk filmēt.
Ko? Es bēgu no policijas, es pie viņiem klāt neeju!
The guys told Tali police has arrived, and Tali's answer was, I don't go to police, I'm hiding from them, I'm running, I run away from them. Tali's being lazy.
Šitais ir, hei, šitie te.
Tie ir 8.
Šitie C.
Tie mums ir tie ir 8.
Un šitie te mums ir B.
B2, vai ne?
Šitie te, tas ir B un tas ir B. Un šitais ir...
Tas ir viena ir granāta un viena ir šitie, lai.
Jā, un šitais arī.
4 šitie.
Un šitais arī.
Viens ir šitas un 4 šitie.
Jā.
Un tas tā lielā?
Jā, ai, tā jau man kaut kur pazuda. Es atkal nometu viņu nevietā. Un šitie te, kas te tādi ir. Evo, kur palika man šitie? Labi, tas kārtībā, darīt nozīmē. Ejam tālāk. Vai, tu te vēl biji? Nu, jā?
Es zinu tikai par šito vietu.
Nu, ko tu izpārdīji? Te būs, vēl būs. Ne pirmā, ne pēdējā reize.
So this is 122 AP, it seems. This one, possibly German 75. Mortar mines. Grenades, including anti-tank grenade, bunch of mortar mines, and another big guy, some 122, something like that. A nice lady from police arrived and we shown her everything. Sunim pierādziņi nav veselīgi. Nevajag pierādziņus sunim dot.
Tā.
And some more stuff.
Mēs tagad šitie, mēs sākam vēlreiz šitie te B2, 1, 2. Ir 3. Tā, 3. Šitie te ar tiem spārniņiem ir C1, šitais un šitais, redzi? Ideāli. Tā. Pils vēl 2, tālāk. Nu, tu tur sazīmē kādas gribu mākslinieckās izpausmes. Dažādas viņa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Puls vēl 10.
Ir vēl, jā.
Pagaid, sastīsimies par šitiem krūmiem. Ja nav, tie neskaitās, tie nav garšīgi.
Ja metā lūdzu.
Tā viņa arī pārēja. Ja vēl kāds būs, varbūt bedrēm. Durvis. Ejam tur. Es te nevaru atrast. Jā, arī ir.
Vēl ir? Vai tas?
Tur krūmos 120 bija savāks.
Kādos krūmos?
Nu, tur, kur jūs ar Ainers staigājāt.
Jā, par tiem es neko nezinu.
Baigi labi. Hmm? Ah, yeah, super. Tur? Ah, super. So this is the pressurized air tank from a tank. Marcia, we have women working with us, just not today. Somehow it happened. We have one who is member of Latvian Parliament and one who is doctor in Lithuania. So, and John's question, yes, that's wheel from T-34 tank, same as this air tank.
Tāpēc jau skatās. Kur tur kas aiziet.
Šitas, ko tagad dūks paņēma, tas ir viens. Kas? Sajaukts?
Nu tā.
Tā.
Uz pusi.
Tur kaut kas trūk kaut kas.
Nē, sabot, viņi tā sašķaidīti. Nē, šis augšies. Kam tas varēja būt bijis? Tas ir, šis ir apakšā bija. Vai nu tas gājis tur?
Nē, šitas ir apakšā vēl vispār. Šitas ir...
Šitam viņi varētu būt roka šitam?
Augšējā.
Kas šī ir?
Tā paša augšā viņas rokas. Rokas. Kāja tā ir.
Tā kāja. Tas ir apakš tādi?
Броня. Trying to sort out as much as possible, at least to understand the number. And again, for those who ask, what do we do with live ordnance? The question is really simple. So, yeah, what we do with ordnance, we call police, and then they sort out things further. It's not our business. After we call police arrives. That's all, not our business anymore. Then it's sorted by police. They call Latvian Army EOD. Either today, tomorrow, don't know, any other day. It's picked up and destroyed, but usually the same day. Yes, most of the remains are buried in Latvia, in war cemeteries, unless the family will is different. If family wants to get them back home, then it's done. Visos laikapstākļos ir darīts. Lietus, sniegs, ziema, nekāda problēma. Drupās? Jā.
Viņi esat rakušies.
Destroyed building. Napoleonic era coin.
Nu, tas ilvārsteits ir.
Oh. Jums?
Nē.
Kakaļiks.
Это bija šitā. Es
So, need to get another battery from Talis. Tālī, kur tev ir vēl viena baterija, tad man nosprāgs tulīt telefons. So, now searching for another battery. Yeah, hold on. This is binoculars Talis uses to see women on the beach. Čau! Tālis koķetē.
Klausies, liepiņi, bedrē varēja bišķiņ aiziet. Klausies, tev tie...
Tālī, ņem.
Hokejista aizsargi noslīdējas visīti. Man vien nauda. Viņiem nav funkcionalitātes. Viņiem ir tikai modas kliedzienē, bet tev jau viņi noslīdējas, tāpēc pofīgi. Es tā kā staigāju. Teiks, ka baigās skriegās, man ņem jau. Tas tur ir.
No, the old coin is just, it's rubbish. It's too much corroded. How do we locate these battlefields? We just go and search, and we find them. Pietaupīji, ja?
Jā!
Malacis!
Es pagaidīšu tagad dažu, bet pazinu sapierēm. Citreiz jau viņi atbrauc. Rati. Ne, nu varbūt, ja tā pat būtu, tad jau jā, bet...
Jā, te varētu būt kaut kas.
Es nezinu, kā tas vajag.
Ar to nākamajā dienā dažkārt štruntīgi sanāk. Jā, var uzprasīt Tālim, kā viņam tur gāja. Kad policija atbrauc un sapieri nākamajā dienā atbrauc. No, tas jūsējais atradums bija, ja? Jūs atradāt? Tāls teica, viņam zvanīja visi, kas vien var zvanīt. Nu, kad vienu dienu atbrauc policija un izdomāja nesargāt, un nākamajā dienā atbrauc sapieru un ir iztrūkums.
Nebija nākamā dienā, tas bija mēs tas 2 dienas.
Vai 2 dienas, un tad vispār ko tur brīnīties?
Mēs varbūt pēc mēneša atbraukām.
Baigi silts palika, ka bija mākoņas, bija labāk. Tā. Guys, I think I have left some 10 minutes of live stream. And... Nē, to pēc tam. Of live stream, and then Facebook will cut it, and possibly we will have another one afterwards. To the wheel? No idea. No idea what will happen to the wheel. Us? Yeah. It seems that the wheel has its axle there as well.
Nē, kas tur? Nav pirmās vajag. Gaļa nav klāt, ko es gribēju. Liks kauli ir iesmēs. Jā,
Someone cares for soldier more or less while he's still alive, and when he's not alive anymore, there is no use for him. That's why he's not cared that much, unfortunately. Governments always tell the different story, but the real story is no one really cares about dead soldiers. Sunset? Jā, ap 800 grozās.
Te baigi sapiergājuši, te visi diski arī izārdīti un citi tranšai ģekķeri diskiem, no parastiem visi izārdīti. Ieroči arī visi izjauki.
O, granātā.
No.
Kam vēl vienu granātu vajag?
Nu, meitene reku jau aizgāja prom.
Jāmet tev līdzi.
Es domāju, ka līdz vakaram jāsēž.
Kur metīsim?
Mēs tā pēc dzelžu stāv visu vienā čupā.
Nē, granāts jāceļ.
Guys really like the cute girl from police. That's why they find more and more grenades. Dainīts pamodies, mūs skatās.
Nelieks, nelieks.
Mēs varētu ņemt šito galvu sārā.
Uzprastāvi, ko darīt? Vai šito? Es viņam teicu, tāpēc neizaugs starp. Vīķi apakšā. Pagaidi.
No, it's not inside of a tank. It's some bomb crater which is filled in with all of the rubbish found on battlefield mixed in with human remains. Brian, that's a good question. We are not in Russia. That's the first thing. We are in Latvia, in Kurland. No, not really. I think not the opposition side, but it was done by farmers before plowing fields, possibly even a few months after the battles, when no one picked up the dead bodies and rubbish. They just had to do the farming, and they had to do something about what is on their fields, and they just buried them. That is only a wheel of a tank and some smaller parts from it, not a whole tank.
Nē, bet kāda teica, ka gados, teiksim, labi, zemnieks apstāja lauku, kur viņam tik viss tas krūts, viņš novāc nos un viss, nē, tur jau tā lieta. Novāc pieroku un miesu arī. Kāds starpība, tur vai cilvēku vai zirgu, vienalga kaut ko tā būtu iekšā.
Okay, I think Facebook soon will cut down the live stream. At least that is how it was done previously. It was 4 hours cap. Maybe something is different.
Principā šitais te būs tā kā vairāk vai mazāk paskatās, man liekas, ka tā kā nokomplektēts. Galvas kaut kā salūzis.
Yes, it seems Facebook is cutting down the live stream in 1 minute, so I'll reconnect after some time. Hope you do the same. Like our page, support us, and see you next time. But we will be back live today as well, for shorter live stream, but we will be here. Crops usually don't go that deep, so won't help with that.